Years ago, we discovered this house hidden behind a brick wall, and it was run down, couldn't access it, really didn't know a whole lot about it. And I'll get into the story here, but today is the opening day. We are in line to get in. All right, we're headed in.
Do a running start. I think it was crazy.
Folks, and I'll get us started. I'm going to tell you the rules of the game here. So, we will go up there. This is a original
Staircase?
staircase. The railing there is the original iron that has been restored. John Fant Staub, the architect, loved iron, and he worked with the Weber Iron Company. So this is one of his modified designs of the Weber Iron Company. Okay. Got my caboose here. Yep. Miss Tammy. All right, so this is a sneak peek. I don't have time to tell you all the juicy stories today. But if you have one and you'd like to tell it to me, find me later. I do a 75-minute tour of this property, and I barely have time to finish. I can't tell you everything in 75 minutes, but today we're going to do the fast tour. And do stay with the group. We have Tammy who's going to kind of shepherd you from the back, and how you kind of need to stay together because other groups are coming behind us, and we don't want to hold anybody else up. So let's go to the gallery. I'll stop at the other end of it and kind of point out some things.
Is this the original farmhouse?
That is the stable down there. So, and it is open if you want to walk down the steep hill. It's a steep hill. But they have eliminated water down there on the common terrace. Let's go to the gallery.
It's a stable. The stable was built in 1938, but before she built the house. She built it for her horse and my right the trail. Just have one more. We don't
They're originals, but they're not hers.
The period.
They're period, yes. Okay, so question just asked, is the artwork original? It is not, but it is original artwork. It's just acquired for the period that she lived in the house because we don't know what she had. All of her furniture was stored when she left the house in 1983 and was variously given away or sold over the years. So we don't know what was originally here. There was no inventory taken that lasted this long to tell us what was here. So basically they've tried to source the art to go with the period that she lived in the house. She was here for several decades. The sconces on the wall there are Venetian glass. They are not original, but the original ones were Venetian glass. So they created these out of Venetian glass to match the chandelier that you'll see later. This was done by Callaway Lamp and Shade right here in Knoxville. The other thing I like people to notice as we walk through the house are the windows. All of them are double hung. They open from the top and the bottom. So you can step out any of these windows if you want to. Let's go into the library. You'll even have even bigger windows.
Oh, that's cool.
Now they have pocket screens there, so it allows you to slide in the wall. You can imagine having a wedding here and having the screens and nice evening breeze coming through. They have one coming up this month, very first one. So yes, they are using this as an event space. Several nonprofits one of them is my partner, Knoxville History Project, and they have meetings here that you can sign up for on their website, but also the Knoxville Opera Company, the KMA is doing an installation in the gallery that you just came through. There'll be an art installation there in June. So lots of folks, nonprofit folks are allowed to use the house. Plus it is open for events. You can rent it. And there's a wedding, our first wedding coming up on April the 25th. So they will be doing weddings and that sort of thing here too. These windows, again, surround the room. This one is quite big. You can lift it up. There's steps, so you can walk out to the backyard if you wanted to. All of these bookcases are originally built in. The shelves were recreated on the side here to match the bookshelves. The molding is also original. The books in that case over there are Eugenia's own. So most of these books were like the paintings sourced to match the period of time that she lived in the house. So
I didn't hear earlier, what wood is original?
all of the wood is original.
All the wood?
Except there was some repair work done,
Okay.
but they matched it to be like, this is walnut and cherry is what's in this room.
Yeah.
Most of the parquet is walnut, and some of it's cherry. Let's go into the living room.
That's what I thought.
Get the screen?
It doesn't provide any heat, but it's just, you know, it's for looks. And all the fireplaces are exactly like this. They just have a little switch up here, so you can turn them off and on. This, I want you to look at the mantelpiece though. This is white Italian marble. This was mentioned in her will. So it had to stay with the house unless the house was completely torn down. So it has these mythological figures carved on it. It's quite elaborate. The furniture, again, is sourced. It's not original to her. There is a little antique desk back there in the corner that was provided by the family that founded the Aslan Foundation. So that is a 20th century antique to match the house. Windows going out to the terrace. You can hear the music, the musicians playing out there. And all of these rooms were kind of, the furniture is, you can sit on it. Because this is going to be used for events, and I wanted this to be comfortable. So this furniture was arranged with comfort in mind, and all the reproductions are quite sturdy, so they're to be used. Now we're going to, let me make sure the next group is, yep, they're gone. We're going to go to the dining room where you get to see the chandelier that I mentioned when I talked about this.
I'll have to try to see next time. Let's just see. Oh, yes.
Here, when there's an event to speak group, you'll find out all the information about the
This window. There are huge sliding windows throughout the house. I mentioned this window was in the actual lifestyle.
Yeah.
Okay. So, this is the original paint color. All the paint colors in the house are either the original shade or as close to it as they could reproduce if that particular paint was not made anymore. So all of them are to Eugenia's taste. So this is Eugenia's peach, I call it. So she loved, she kind of liked the warm colors. The chandelier, as I said earlier, is original, and when the Aslan Foundation bought this house, every single window was broken. It had been vandalized. But this chandelier was intact. I think that was a miracle. So of course, it was in bad shape because it had been hanging here alone for 20-some years. So they had to take it down and rehang it. It had to be repaired and cleaned. And Callaway's Lamp and Shade that made the sconces did that and rehung the chandelier. So, everything in the house, like I said, was done to the absolute top quality possible. Now we're going to go through, there's a little narrow room here that you'll get a closer look at later. But we're going to go into the big part of the kitchen so that we can all fit into the room. So we'll go through this door and then immediately to the right, okay?
This is the pocket, the sliding door. That window is a sliding door. Yeah.
Did Eugenia have any children?
She did not.
Did she marry?
She was married, divorced in 1936, but she was married from 1920 to approximately 1936. But she and her children, she and her husband apparently could not have any children. I think that she could not have children. She was in the hospital a lot when she was married to him, so I think that was part of the problem. Come on in here, we'll be going back through that room when we go upstairs, so come on in here to the large part of the kitchen and then we'll talk about that room as well. So notice the stainless steel countertops. They are throughout these two rooms. This is a very post-World War II look. But she built this house from 1939 to 1941. So, she was ahead of the curve here. She was ahead of the style, and she got the absolute very best that she could. Now, this refrigerator works. It's the original. Has more ice trays in it than anyone could use in one lifetime.
Did she entertain a lot?
We don't think so. We don't know because there were no parties mentioned. You know, in the days that she was in this house and opened it up, she was sort of ostracized by the rest of Knoxville society. Divorced women were treated differently in those days, guys. And there were other factors which I don't have time to go into today, but she was very reclusive too. And according to one of her very best friends, she didn't like people in her house, not even servants. So we don't know if she ever entertained. Now, there are a few people that she was very good friends with that did come, and from them we have gotten some stories about what the inside of the house looks like. The stove over there is the original 1939 General Electric stove from their catalog. So everything here is restored. It works. All the cabinets, all the drawers open. There's even a little warming cabinet over here. You know, you would think she entertained a lot because she's certainly prepared for it, but we don't know that she had parties ever. Out these windows, you can see the service court. That's where she would have parked her cars. Now, when she was married, she had several fancy cars that we know about, a Duesenberg, a Mercedes, a Bentley, the very first Rolls Royce in Knoxville. We don't know if she hung on to those after the marriage. When she was older, she didn't like to drive herself, so she had a chauffeur. Or she took taxi cabs when she was older than that. Her father's will left her his cars, but they were described in the will. So there are stories of a Cadillac, a Lincoln Continental in her later years, and they would have been parked either in the service court or in the basement garage, which is directly beneath us, and had the very first electric garage door opener in town. So she had options, let's say. So this kitchen area, I think, to me, is my favorite room because it's so. I would love to have this kitchen in my house right now. It's just so attractive and useful and easy to clean. This stainless steel is just amazing and lasts forever because this is the original countertops, you know. So we are going to go upstairs next, and we'll be going up the servants' staircase. So we'll do a little backstairs glance here. But we're going to go back through this room here. This room is called the butler's pantry. And we will go back through the butler's pantry. As we walk through this kind of narrow little room, do take a look at the dishwasher that's on your right. That is a 1939 GE dishwasher as well, the very first one in Knoxville, I expect. The two little doors on the wall on the left are a laundry chute and an incinerator chute. So she did have a laundry room in the basement as well and an incinerator. We're not allowed to use those because the fire marshal says no. So we're going to walk through there. Yes, sir.
Let me make sure I understood correctly. All the kitchen appliances are original and stored. Well, that's amazing.
Even the mold in here is exactly like it was.
Suggests that she didn't use them all.
Yes, they didn't get a lot of use. Yeah. Let's walk through. I'm going to walk through here and I'll wait for everybody in this little anteroom up the staircase and then we'll get it up.
Not divorced. What about this one? Is this a freezer or a fridge?
Yeah.
And then down the row is a fridge? Ice cubes.
Quite advanced with undercounter lighting. Yeah. She was a tracts, and at the end there's a water cabinet where they water.
All the pictures.
Are they of the proposed property? Oh, so
A lot of, yeah, just, I think the only one that's on the property is the one at the barn in the pool. That's
It's kind of Victorian-ish, so you can see. But like I said, I can't really talk about Everybody kind of come in here a little bit more so that you can hear me as we go upstairs on the back. A couple things to look at.
These floors are really solid.
Yes,
These steps.
they restored it, I mean, you can.
Yeah, they're.
Okay, so we're gonna go up, this is the servant staircase. So on the way up here is a little laundry room to the left. It's got her big utilities thing for the ladies' fine washables. And there's an iron board that folds out of the wall. You can take a glance in that as we go up the steps. Then, I'm gonna make sure, I'm gonna go to the front and make sure this group is left in the bedroom before we go in there. But take a look at this little laundry room. There's two little octagonal windows that you can look out. You saw those three from the front as you came down the path. And you know, John Van Stomp was known for being kind of quirky, like asymmetry. So these three windows are not repeated; they're there. So kind of like I said, kind of a funny, quirky little thing.
How many square footage is the house?
Over 10,000.
10,000? I just gotta see the behind doors.
Hmm?
She's okay.
Oh.
Come this way, folks. Come this way.
Yeah. She's having to herd people.
Go on into her bedroom.
So it's 10,600 square feet.
This isn't a bad path, is it?
No, not at all.
Very nice. Let me come through here.
I did to clean this over though.
Exactly right.
You'll have to ask the staff that, because they put them out, you know, they do them differently for each occasion, so they've really got someone on staff. This is her bedroom, original color. It's got a marble fireplace as well, but it's not as fancy as the one in the living room. They didn't do a bed, because this is going to be the dressing room for the bride and the bridesmaids. You notice she took the best views for herself here. Interestingly enough, she grew the trees up so that people from the river couldn't see into her room though. So even though she's got a good view, it's really only in the winter and early spring that you can see the river very well. The only two photographs we have of her are in this room. One is the young woman on the nightstand over there. That's her as a young woman right out of school. She did not go to college, by the way. She went to a private girls' school. The other one is on this little nightstand, and it's with her when she's 6, so as a child. She lived 98 years and we had a few photographs. So she did not like her picture to be made. She often told, she told one of her nurses in her later years when she was living at St. Mary's that she did not like to be photographed and she wouldn't sit for a portrait because she did not like what she saw in the mirror. So she was a perfectionist, and I guess she told her nurse, I never really thought I was very beautiful. I have to disagree. I think she's beautiful. So,
She sounds like she's a little eccentric too.
possibly. She was very eccentric towards the end, I think. So she lived here pretty much on her own. That bedroom back there that we didn't do was a spare bedroom, but we don't know whose bedroom that was. We know this one was hers. Her step-grandmother, Annie Cornick, moved into the house with her in 1941 when she moved in, but she only stayed a couple of years. And then we don't know after that exactly who used that extra bedroom. It is going to be used for the groom and groomsmen during the wedding time. So that's sort of we call it the oak room, and it's really, or the groom's room in there. We're going to go through her bathroom. All the bedrooms have an ensuite bathroom, which is unusual in those days. Hers is pink Tennessee marble, and there was a lady on one of my earlier tours whose grandfather did the marble in this house. So I told her she's got to leave her name and number so that we can track her down and hear more about that. But it's kind of a narrow little bathroom, so we're just going to walk through it. The closet, however, is not narrow. And this lady loved to shop. So ladies, it's time to talk shopping. Let's go look at her boudoir.
One more question.
Sure.
The carpet, is it original?
No, none of the cotton rugs or furniture is original in the house. Yeah. The vanity is as
Just by her hair.
Well, she wasn't unattractive. I said she wasn't unattractive. I don't know why she wouldn't enjoy looking at herself at times.
shops along Fifth Avenue. Bonwitz was her favorite, I understand. We know this because of a very dear friend of hers, whose name was Marge Cordova, and Marge worked at the Belgian Shoe Company. That's where they met. And all of Eugenia's shoes were made by the Belgian Shoe Company, which served royals and celebrities for decades. And they were handmade in Italy, even her casual shoes. So I know handmade in Italy, Belgian shoe companies, doesn't make sense to me, but that is where the shoes were made. She loved pink.
Oh, is it?
Pink shoes in particular were a favorite of hers, according to Marge. And when it was fashionable to wear alligator skin with a matching bag, she would get shoes and a matching bag at every clothes they offered. So she collected shoes long before Melvin Martin. This right here is just her shoe closet. Now, she also collected jewelry. She loved jewelry. And if you want to open that closet over there, there's some trays there that are her jewelry trays. She loved to go along Fifth Avenue to famous jewelry shops in New York City. She had very good taste, very large, very elegant, classic stuff that she wore. But her jewelry was kind of her downfall as she got older. It's probably one of the reasons she had to leave the house. Her health was failing. She had a fall in 1969, broke her hip. And while she was at the hospital, they got married, the house was broken up. They stole $65,000 worth of jewelry. And so she never recovered. She had another fall in 1975. again ended up at St. Mary's.
Oh, she
And again, the house was
actually-
furnished for last $35,000. Got away, they got away at that time. She realized because of her deteriorating health, she was not gonna be able to stay here forever. She had no children that needed to. And so she decided that the thing to do was to make plans, close the house.
Yeah, oh, that would be nice if
Yeah,
someone was
she
still
called
alive.
Andy Holt over, he was president of UT at the time, told him she was gonna leave the house and grounds to the university. Now, she left it sort of in trust so that it could not be broken up, and I didn't think she hoped that this house would be used by UT for the president's residence. However, she closed the house in 1983, and she didn't die till 1998. So it stood here empty in 1983. And then when UT got it, only very minimal maintenance had been done, so they never could.
Oh.